Lately, I've been having some issues with storage. So the game plan for today's video is to kind of revamp my storage area, and I think that we're mostly going to focus on the closet. So let me show you what I mean. This closet's beginning to become a pain in my arse because not only is this door just make all of the space unusable here to the right of it or my left, whatever. It also just the space inside of here is just really awkward, and I don't really know how to best utilize it. So obviously I like having shelvings and things I can hang on because I do have different shirts I wear in different videos, and I usually keep those in here. But there's all this wasted space. And I could stack things up in here, but when you stack things, if I ever need to access something, it just becomes a real hassle to manage. So I need like a solution. So originally I was going to put in some pieces of wood in here and then just build a bunch of shelves, and then I just have a lot of shelving. But I like to change things around a lot, so I wanted something a bit more modular. And so the obvious solution to that would be, well, get a custom built closet, but I'm pretty cheap. With the idea of modularity in mind, I was thinking about different ways to solve that issue, and honestly I couldn't think of too many. And then I was watching one of my videos while editing, and then I noticed I have the king of modularity behind me. So I decided to hit up Wall Control and ask them to send over some panels so I could try out and redo my closet with some modularity in mind. And so they sent over a bunch of stuff to help me with this project, and I've had a lot of ideas of how I want to go about this, and I think I've come up with the worst way to solve this issue instead of doing what is probably the best solution. So let me try and paint you the picture of what I plan to do and why this is probably the worst way to do it, but I think it'll end up being the best way in the near term anyway. So originally I was going to take out this entire shelf here and just put these panels basically over top of where they were, and then probably do another set of panels below, so that way we'd have a total of 6 panels across the way. But then I decided I actually really like this shelf, and it's pretty sturdy and it can hold a lot, so I decided to move down to 3 panels. But the problem is now I have this bar in the way, and if I remove this, that's really going to remove a lot of the weight that it can support. So then I decided, well, how about I just put 2 panels on either side of this. So one will go here, we'll have another one here, and then I'm actually going to put one on this wall that you can't see, so that way I have a lot more options for shelves and mounting areas, and they're basically going to leave everything on the bottom empty, so that way I can still stack things and store boxes or whatever have you. So that's basically the rough game plan. And with all that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and get started because that's what I want to do. One thing I want to try and do is at least figure out where the studs are. I don't plan on putting these into the studs because I think the studs in this closet are misaligned. And when I say misaligned, I mean like there's no way to actually center these with where the studs are in a convenient way. So for instance, it looks like we have a stud here and here, so one panel could go here into the studs, which would be perfect. But I would only have room for another panel to go on this side, so I'd have 2 panels in the stud with one not being in the stud, and if I wanted 3 panels across, I couldn't do that just using 2 studs. So I wouldn't be able to use the studs anyway, and honestly with the design I was thinking about going with, they wouldn't sit in the studs because of personal choices. So we're just going to use the drywall anchors, and that should be good enough because I don't plan on putting anything too heavy in here. And if I do need to put stuff that's heavy in here, I always have this rack above it. So that's kind of the game plan we're going for. So those are 2 studs. We'll probably have another one somewhere around here on the far right. I think I might be in the way now. Somewhere about here, let's say it's about 16 inches. So we're not going to hit any studs. So that's good to know. So we can put these up, mark some holes, and then start screwing them in. I need a drill. Like I mentioned before, we're just going to put 2 panels on either side of this bar here in the middle. And they don't have to be lined up perfectly, but I do want to get them as close to perfect as I can. And we are actually going to level this. It is super dark in here, so that's perfect already. Wow, I just nearly perfectly put that in there. So let's draw some holes here, just so where I know where to mark. A little something like that, and let's go ahead and mark the next one. For the wall anchors, you're going to want to use a drill bit that's 1/4 inches. So that way you can make or pre-drill your holes and everything will fit nice and tight. So that's what we're working on right now. Actually, one thing I realized, I don't know if I put those at the same height or not. It doesn't, it'll be fine. We'll just drill one on the left and then we'll do the one on the right. All right, first 6 wall anchors are in, and wow, we're making pretty good progress. They're going to be done very quickly. That's one thing I like about these systems, or these panels are super fast to install. All right, let's get the next set in and we should be good to go. So even though I pre-marked the wall and I've put these anchors in, I chose not to put them on this side just in case this panel shifts around while screwing it in, and I don't really trust myself to make sure that they're going to be the same height. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mount one first and then kind of eyeball to make sure they're the same height, and then I'll put in the second one. So hopefully this works out like planned and we're good to go from there. So the key to installing these is I've actually went ahead and only drilled in 2 screws at the moment, but I didn't drill them all the way down or screw them all the way down. The reason for this is so that way I can come back in, make sure I have everything aligned the way I like, and then once I've got the rest of the screws in and the alignment close to where I want, I'll just go in and harden it all the way down. And looks like it's still currently centered all the way, at least on this side. So we'll check the bottom here just to double check. It does look like it could use just a little bit of adjustment. And now that I've got it where I want, I'm just going to go ahead and screw the rest of the panels down, and I think we'll be good to go. All right, first panel in. It's looking pretty well done. Looks good to go. So now we'll put the second one in to make sure that the heights are the same. It's easier to do it this way because, again, I don't really trust myself, so. All right, it actually looks like it's about the same height, and I just kind of winged it. So, and eyeballing it, that's close enough, I would say. So we're gonna go ahead and pre-drill our holes again. We'll get our second panel in. All right, there we go. 2 panels, almost exactly perfectly lined up next to each other. I'm pretty happy with that. Installing the last shelf is gonna be a little difficult for me to do. So I'm just going to install it, but basically it's going to go in this corner here. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Basically with these other ones, and we'll put some shelves over here too. So that way I can hang stuff or, well, put stuff on shelves if I need or as needed. All right, let's get this one installed. There we have it. All 3 shelves mounted way in the corner there. So this should add a pretty good amount of shelving for us if we want to add or store anything in here. So now I've just made an absolute mess inside of the office / studio here, and we've got to go through this box of stuff. This is basically everything Wall Control has sent over for us, and we're gonna, I think it's mostly shelves, and we're gonna get those kind of arranged in here randomly to optimize my storage needs. All right, let's get this absolutely ginormous box opened up so I can see what options we have. Now I think this is mostly just shelving, which is perfect because that's exactly what I want. And we also have another one of these rolls. I don't know what they're called. We have another one of these that comes with like an option to put paper towels, but I actually might use that to hang clothes on. But now that I'm keeping the rack above, I may not need to hang clothes anymore. So we'll see what happens. Oh, it's a box within a box. Was not expecting that. Wow, they sent us a ton of shelves. Oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted, was shelving. And what's really cool too is we have this little unit. So this goes over one of the 9-inch shelves. And so we can kind of use it as like a catch-all for things that I don't really know what to do with. Actually, I need to open this up too because I don't know what's in here. It's just swag. I guess they know I like coffee mugs, so let's add another coffee mug to the bunch. And I'm a big fan of koozies. I already have tons of koozies laying around. Literally have one just chilling right here, and then there's one on the desk over here to the right. I'm collecting these things like crazy. Well, it would have been nice to have this pin before I started because I could have marked up the wall. I guess I should have opened up everything first. So awesome. Thanks for the swag. There are some t-shirts somewhere around in here. with this package. But anyway, that's kind of outside of the point of this video. So let's actually get some shelves mounted and just play around with the setup. Man, Wall Control certainly knows how to package all of their stuff. I mean, this stuff's extremely well packaged. Literally every individual thing is packaged, which actually might be a downside with all the plastic waste we're about to have. But it is extremely well packaged nonetheless. So that's all of the shelves. I have some more shelves around here as well, some shorter ones. But we're going to start with the large shelves first because I think that's the most important thing here, is to get lots of shelving space. So for now, I'm thinking about doing something a little bit like this. Now, I did just want to show you what I meant by the hanger before with the paper towel. So like, that's usually a paper towel holder, like I have right over there. Wow, that's out of focus, like right over there. And I'm not using it for that purpose. I could use it to hang clothes if I really wanted to. And that was the original game plan. If I were to do 3 panels, one right there, one right there, and one right there, so then I would have a place to hang clothes, and that would also have meant getting rid of this all together. But I decided that I am gonna keep this top rack to hold really heavy things, and I'm not gonna use this. So this is just an example. I'm gonna actually just put, well, I don't know where the shelf went, but I'm gonna put one last shelf right there that'll be really big, about 12 inches deep, so it'll be perfect. And then in the corner, of course, we have some more shelving. There will be another shelf right there at the bottom, so we have more space. And then here's my like little catch-all, so I can just throw things in there. I'll probably end up moving that one towards the bottom so I can actually see inside of it. But yeah, this is turning out really well. A lot better than I thought it would so far. I feel like I've already gained a ton of space. And then down here at the bottom, we're gonna have just like a regular chest or something full of drawers so I can put things inside of there too. I'm really liking this. I'm glad I went with white. They did send over a magnetic light, which is really cool. This thing would be perfect to use underneath. There's not a lot of light in that closet, so having light would be great, but the magnetic light doesn't power on. Now it does work if it's connected to power. So let me just connect it to USB power real quick. And boop, it works. But I don't know why it doesn't work unless it's plugged in. So thanks for that. I will have to find a different solution in the future because this just ain't gonna be it, Jack. All right, so we're pretty much done. It's time to just load up the closet and get things arranged, I think, how I like it. If I don't like it, of course, it's modular and I can rearrange it. So let me just get to work on that and then I'll get back to you guys with something. So this has worked out great. So we've pretty much got everything on shelves now, and we have saved an absolute metric ton of floor space. This closet is about 4 feet wide or 42 inches wide and, I don't know, 24 inches deep. So being able to have all of this stuff now just like arranged in a somewhat nice manner is nice. So we got the really large boxes at the top, which is perfect. We've got some smaller boxes in the middle that are filled with games, Nintendo and Super Nintendos, things like that. And then we just have general storage that I can use. Now, obviously this stuff isn't permanent. I don't know what's gonna go where, but this is already pretty awesome. And I still have room down below to add either more of the shelf units or to just put more shelving like I originally intended and things on the floor that are super heavy that shouldn't be on shelves mounted to the wall. But I'm loving this so far. One final look at everything now that it's all packed into the closet, and it looks absolutely awesome. It's well organized. It could obviously be better organized, but I think this is going to work out perfectly. Still have some room for additional shelving right there in the middle if I really wanted, but that's not necessary at this time. And I've got everything back inside, and I even have some additional space now that I didn't have before now that we've emptied the closet on the floor. And we still have space up top if we really need for even more things. Well, that certainly turned out to be pretty nice. I am obviously already a big fan of Wall Control. I have all of their panels in the studio. I have their panels in my garage, and now I have some more panels in my closet. And, you know, I gotta say, it's incredibly simple and just super modular, which I like. And I'm super happy with the way that closet turned out. I mean, it's looking really good in there. I just have the door open now, and I'm still looking over at it. I am satisfied with the way it is, but I have a feeling, like usual, I am probably going to move things around because I just can't stop moving things around. So that's what makes this system perfect. Now, of course, there are going to be links in the video description down below if you're interested in these panels for a project that you might have at home in your garage or your studio or home lab, or even in a closet, something simple. And yeah, so I don't know what else needs to be said. I'm obviously very happy with this stuff. There's a reason why I reached out to Wall Control, and they are the sponsor of this video. So see you guys later. Peace.